You know him, you love him, you're gonna want more of him. Here he is now, it's Chattin' with Colin. I know I still don't have an updated theme song. I'm sorry. I know it's been a month. I haven't seen you guys in a while. It's been very busy. I'll get on it. But some people are like, I like it. It's catchy. Don't change it. We'll see. We'll see what's up. Things have been busy. What's new with me? I went on the Norwegian Aqua cruise, the newest Norwegian ship. It was amazing. That was in mid-July. It was a work cruise, but I got to play a little. It was a perfect balance of work and play, and it was for Our Family Vacations, which is Rosie O'Donnell's old company that I used to work for from when I was 18 or 19 up, and now it's her ex-wife's company, but it's for LGBTQIA families to come and bring their friends and family and allies and kids and everyone to come on the cruise because they might be the only gay family in their neighborhood in Ohio, and they want to show their kids that there are other families with two moms, two dads, or whatever makes up. It's amazing. I've seen these kids, some of them grow. This is the 22nd year. So some of them, I've seen them like born up and through college. It's crazy. I love it. And as many of the Our Family Vacations cruises that I could do, I'm going on. And then during that, it was a little strange because during the cruise, I still had the camp running, the Shoreline Theater Company camp with Branford Parks and Recreation. And that was at Walsh Middle School. We did The Descendants, which was a huge success, 108 campers, about 20 staff members. It's amazing. Mike Martone Jr. and I started this in 2018. And like I said in past podcasts, the first year we had 31 kids, and now we have 108. It's just incredible. And in addition to keeping that rolling while I was on the cruise, I have an amazing staff there. Everything went great. I started rehearsals for Sweeney Todd at Legacy Theater, which is the first time I've ever started a musical and not been there for the first week. So the music director, Mark, and our guest today, who's the choreographer, Paola, they kept it down for the first week, and I was getting updated, and it's great. Sweeney Todd just opened. We'll talk about that. There's been a bunch of concerts on the green. So we're still doing the musical Mondays in August, and we have a few Friday concerts coming up. And then we might be taking a break in September just because, there's only one of me. And, back to school, all that stuff. So, well, without further ado, and things are really busy at Parks and Rec. We just ended the camp on August 8th. So we're getting the office back together. We're getting ready for back to school. Like I said, our guest today is Paola Rarick. She is the owner of Studio One Dance Center, my best friend, and a choreographer. We're going to talk to her about all things. So please welcome Paola Rarick. Hi, Paola.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
It's
Thank
so
you for
good to
having
see
me
you.
on your
Of
show.
course. This is going to be fun because I need to pretend like I don't know everything about you. I need to pretend that we're not best friends because I want the audience to get a little glimpse into your life. So if you can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where'd you grow up, what do you do for work, your family? Just give us a little bio of yourself.
Okay. Well, I was born in Argentina. And when I was 5 years old, my parents divorced, and I came here to the United States with my mom, who had family here. And yeah, 5 years old, knew no English, and went right into kindergarten. I always tell people that story. There was no ESL back in that day. So I just got fully immersed, and I learned how to speak English really, really fast. But yeah, so once I got to Connecticut, to the United States, I pretty much spent from 5 years old on. Before that, I was born in Argentina, then lived in Brazil, then back to Argentina. Oh, there was a quick 1 year in United States, then back to Argentina. And so let's put it this way. By the time I was in 5th grade, I had moved 10 times.
Wow.
So I certainly have moved a lot in my life, but came to this country, thankfully with family here, and grew up most of my life. Like I said, I was everywhere in Connecticut, but then grew up from 5th grade on in North Branford. So all of my middle school and high school was in North Branford, and I graduated from North Branford, went to college at Southern, met my husband at Southern, and we have been married for 23 years. In September, it'll be 23 years.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. He's a good one. We'll keep him.
Silly Billy.
Silly Billy. Silly Billy. And yeah, I had my daughter, and I would say, I mean, I danced all my life. My mother, who was a single mom, worked 3 jobs to keep me in dance.
Mm.
Um, and I was a competitive dancer growing up. And I stopped dancing shortly towards the end of my high school years. And then when I had my daughter, she was about 2 years old, and I started to feel like I was losing myself a little bit. Like I just was like a mom, and I didn't remember who I was before I was a mom. And so I started going back to New York and taking some dance classes. And I kept saying to myself, oh, I wish there was a dance class around here because, I can't keep traveling to New York. But there wasn't a lot of adult dance classes back then. I found one, I took the class, and then the lady said, why are you taking this class? Why don't you teach the class?
Oh.
So that's how I started teaching. I then met my business partner that I had for 10 years, Diane. I love you, Diane Robinson. And we created and started Studio One Dance Center here in Brantford. And we're still around on Brushy Plains Road. Um, and I'm going on my 17th year of doing that. I had Diane as a partner for 10 years, and she had to step away just to her busy lifestyle and just left the studio to me. And I've continued it on for the past 7 years. So yeah, that is my love, my baby, is that studio and dance in general. Um, then another part of my life is theater, which is
Mhm.
how I met you.
Yes.
I first met you in reaching out to you and letting you know that I knew that you were starting up Shoreline Theater Company, you and Mike Martone. And originally just was like, hey, I know you're a new theater company. If there's anything I can do to help. And then I ended up choreographing Hairspray, which was our first Shoreline Theater Company show. And since then, I have choreographed from the beginning with you guys,
Yeah.
doing most of the musicals, the adult musicals,
Right.
and just finished doing Rent with you guys. And I also have been doing legacy work with you. We've
Mhm.
choreographed Musical of Musicals together. I also choreographed Beauty and the Beast at Legacy and ultimately Sweeney Todd.
Yes, we just opened Sweeney Todd on Friday night, and
Yes.
it's exciting because we just extended a week, and Legacy has never extended a show ever.
I know. I know back in the day we thought we were going to extend Beauty and the Beast, but it never happened.
Yeah, I think there was something logistically about either a cast member or maybe the next show coming in, we just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Luckily, with this season, we built in an extra week for
Yeah.
every show, but
Smart.
this is the first one that we actually need to use it, and the show, I mean, it was a big process doing this show.
Yes.
There was a lot of obstacles and hurdles, but the ending product is pretty incredible for such an intimate space.
I can't believe we pulled it off.
Yeah, the singing, the voices, Mark, it was incredible with teaching this hard Sondheim music. It's
Yeah. I don't think people realize how difficult it is
I
until you're actually in the process.
yeah.
And people hear, oh, Sondheim, he's a genius, his music is hard. But being able to watch, I remember sitting in the music rehearsals with you and being like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
It's probably his most difficult show
Yeah, I talked to
ever.
Mark. I asked, what do you think is the most difficult piece of Sondheim work? And he said Sweeney Todd.
Hmm.
And then he said A Little Night Music. And then he said Into the Woods. Those were in
Okay.
order.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been a process and it's been fun. And I hope that if people haven't seen it already, that they come and check it out because it's what an impressive cast.
Yeah, it's normally done with a big cast, like 30, 35 people. We're doing it with 14.
And the sound is still so impactful and amazing.
It's great. It's great. So I want to backtrack a little bit. What brought you back? Well, what brought you to purchase a house in Branford? Like, what made you pick Branford?
Yeah, so our first house was in Hamden, and we really loved it there. But my husband kind of always loved the shoreline. I am a huge beach person, and we always loved the center of Branford. We thought it was so cute. We thought it was so Hallmark and Gilmore Girls, and we just wanted a place where Hamden doesn't really have a center, and we wanted a place that had like a town center that was a place where the community can kind of congregate,
Right.
and it just was so quaint to us. So we bought a house that we can actually walk to the center in, and our daughter grew up here from 4 years old on, went through the whole Branford school system. But yeah, I think it was just the lure of it being a shoreline town, um, a a beautiful town center, but also, can I say this?
Yes,
We
you
want
can. No one's
okay, I know,
watching. No
especially on
one's
Colin's
watching.
show.
You could say whatever you want.
Um, I wanted I would not say Branford is diverse, but there are some shoreline towns that are completely undiverse, and I felt like this one had the most diversity around this area. So, that was kind of important to us.
Hmm.
I'm Hispanic, and I remember being in high school and pretty much being the only Hispanic person there in North Branford
Oh my
in
gosh.
1996 when I graduated. So I wanted something that wasn't quite like that.
Yeah. And now tell me about Studio One. What type of classes do you offer? What ages? Is it a competition school? Give me a little background about that.
So Studio One is from ages 18 months to adults. We have a lot of adult classes going on, actually. And it is a non competitive studio. I am from a competitive background, so I kind of have that sort of training ingrained in me. So I bring that to my students, but I also do not offer competition. And the reason why is if you want competition, there are plenty of studios who do that. Um, and for me, um, my students are involved in a lot of Branford school activities or other towns. I have kids coming from West Haven, all over the
Yeah.
place. But my goal was that when I was growing up, I did not get to do any school activities because I was in competition. And I want my kids to be able to be a part of their school society and be able to do the school play, which I choreograph at Brantford High School, and do their sports and do the dance team or whatever it is that they want to do. And quite frankly, I didn't see a way to do competition as and also give them the freedom to be maybe on another dance team at school or do their school function. So um, our kids do a lot. We like it that way. We don't want them choosing between one thing or another. That happens all the time, and I just didn't want to. I didn't want my studio to be that, and also the studio is, I would say one thing about our studio is that it's so much more than a dance studio.
Yeah.
I have a 21-year-old daughter, like I mentioned, I think before, and I know girls pretty well. I've been doing this for 17 years. I have boys too. And the majority of my kids are girls. And I will tell you that what I find in girls at a very young age is that they're extremely perfectionistic, extremely hard on themselves. They don't allow themselves to make mistakes. They beat themselves up a lot, which leads to other things when they get
Yeah.
older. So, since I have that place in front of them, since I hold that position in front of them, I like to make sure that they know that once they cross our doors, we have a huge sign that says welcome home. This is their second home. This is a place where they can make mistakes and should make mistakes because I tell them that's how we learn. This is a place for them to get to know themselves. Before we start class every week, I'll ask them questions like, what's your favorite thing about yourself? What are you looking forward to the most this week? Different things to get to know them and for them to get to know themselves. What's the biggest mistake you've ever made? Things like that.
Yeah.
And so because I get to see them every week and because I'm their dance teacher, and I remember I used to look at my dance teacher like she was my idol, I take that really seriously, and so does all my staff. And we just kind of make it a safe space for them to grow and learn about themselves. And the more they do that, the more confidence they have. So
That's
that's why
great.
I love my job so much.
That's awesome. We have another thing in common. Well, we have lots of things in common. We're both cover girls.
Uh-huh.
You are on the cover of this month's Brantford Neighbors. I was on the cover of June because it's Pride Month.
That's so
Not really,
perfect.
and because of the festival. But I loved the article that Mary Grandy did. I love the pictures. Why don't you talk to us a little bit? You talked to us about your daughter Bella. Why don't you tell us a little bit about her? What's she up to now?
Oh, I'm so proud of her. She's going to be a senior in September at the Manhattan School of Music. She's getting a bachelor's of music in with the concentration in musical theater. So she really kind of, I mean, people like to say the apple didn't fall far from the tree and that she, took after me. Um, she did and she didn't. She grew up in my dance studio, but the theater thing, she brought me into that.
Yeah,
So,
explain that a little bit because
yeah.
I wanted to get there about your first experience in theater and artful living,
Mhm.
and how that sort of trickled down to the Walsh play, and then Shoreline, and then us, and now Legacy. So yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, my daughter's first experience in theater was at Tabor Arts.
Oh, I know that
And
place very well.
yes, you do. You weren't there at the time, but
No.
that's actually what happened was she did Annie there, fell in love with it, and then the next year there was no Tabor Arts.
Oh,
So we had to find her another theater camp, which we went to the Schubert Theater Camp. Loved that. I saw this shy, quiet little girl just blossoming. She was a different person on stage. And we were so excited to do it the next year. And I had a major mom fail, and I waited too long to register her, and it was closed. So I had to find another theater experience for her. And I ended up, through her voice teacher at the time, I ended up at Artful Living Productions, which was in Killingworth. And I was speaking on the phone with the director, learning a little more about their theater company. And it was nothing like what she had gone to. This was a community theater with adults and children. And so I remember talking to him a little bit about the process and the audition process. And somehow he found out that I had a dance studio. I think I had mentioned that our recital was coming up, and so we couldn't do it a specific day. And he said, "Oh, you're a dancer?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, great, because I'm looking for a choreographer." I said, "Oh, okay, but I just choreograph dance pieces, like I've never choreographed a musical theater production. I choreograph a dance piece where people don't speak, they just dance.
right, 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 right.
Never mind sing." I said, "So I don't really do that." And he goes, "Well, I think you can do that." And I said, "Oh, I'm thinking like this guy doesn't even know me, but okay, whatever." So he invites me to come see one of his productions, and I loved it. And I hesitantly accepted the position of choreographer for that year, which was Mary Poppins was the first show that I choreographed, which is kind of a beast of a show to choreograph
Yeah,
for the first time.
it's not Rent.
It's not
It's
Rent.
not Sweeney
It's
Todd.
not Rent. It was a lot of dance. But I had so much fun, and to see a production come to life from being in the chorus room, watching them learn their music, then slowly teaching them the choreography. Then you're coming in the next week and the set pieces are being built and slowly the whole thing's coming to life. I just was drawn in from the beginning. So that was 12 years ago. And
Wow.
then I fell in love with it. And then I met you. And then you and I are attached at the hip now.
I know. Well, thank God for that guy from Artful Living to ask you because I don't know what I do in some of these shows. I mean, we have to work closely, so closely
Mhm.
together because it's both of our visions and we really finish each other's sentences. When you're having an off day, I try to pick it up. When I'm having an off day, you try to pick it up. So we really balance each other out well.
We do.
Yeah.
And you are one of the most collaborative directors I've ever worked with. So, and not just with me, with, music directors. And so I've been a little spoiled by that.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Is there anything else you want to update the viewers on? Anything you want to talk about? I do have something I want to do with you, but not until the end. But is
Oh,
there anything else that we haven't touched on that you want to talk about?
well, let's see. What is it that I do?
You do
I
everything.
do everything. Um, You know what? I do love my collaboration with Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
That I wanna talk about because the cool thing about that is I've been able to sit down with you guys and Dale and, just say, "Hey, I have this idea." And you guys are like, "Okay, let's do it." And, one of those ideas was the mindful movement classes that we started within the schools where, I traveled to each of the
Elementary
elementary
schools.
schools and came up with this idea of, like I said, I've seen so much, and I'm really, really passionate about the mental health of young kids now, and especially after COVID. I've
Mhm.
seen such a huge change and such an uptick in anxiety. So, I mean, I'm a person who truly believes in therapy and has had a lot of experience in all of that. So,
I got into therapy because of you.
I know I'm such a therapy maniac.
I
I just
know.
love it. I think it's just be a given for everybody. Everybody needs it. That's my opinion. But, I really took a lot of what I've learned through both raising my daughter, being in therapy, just living my life, and being really passionate about this subject, and brought it in to the schools. And so we started with movement, and I would teach them dance, and that was kind of like the gateway into into introducing myself to them. But then we always added a mindfulness component at the end. I would say last 15 minutes, I would teach them some form of journaling, which could be either drawing, it could be writing, it could be collaging, all these different ways of um, journaling. And I had kindergartners through 4th grade. So I really had to kind of bring it to their level. And then, other things like I'd guide them through meditations. I'd give them skills on, if they're feeling dysregulated, how to manage that with breathing or with movement or with dancing. So I just think, my toddler and me stuff that I do with Parks and Rec, the mindful movement,
All the camps in the
all
summer.
the camps that I get to do. I'm thankful that we have that sort of relationship and collaboration with them where they trust me enough to let
Of
me work
course.
out my
Well, you
different
have
little
such a
ideas.
special way about you to make sure everyone that's in your orbit, no matter if there's a student in the cast or a friend or a family member, feels so special. Like you
Mm,
really you're always listening and you always give great advice
mm.
and you're very special, Paula. So I
Oh my
know all
god.
of your students feel the same way.
Oh my
And,
god,
the
thank you.
studio and all your cast members and everyone. It's like I always say, like, I need to be the fun one.
You are.
uh, Another person that we work with, depending on the show, needs to be the like down to business one. This
Mhm.
we mean business, and you're the one that deals with everyone's emotions.
Mhm. And I love it. I love that. I truly, truly do. And that is the best compliment you could give me is that I would make people feel seen and understood. I think probably because that's my deepest desire is to be seen and understood at least. And oh my God, we're getting deep. But
Yeah.
yeah, I really do. I really, really do cherish that. And the fact that I've gotten to do that through dance is even more amazing, and the fact that I mean, I don't know, what was it? I think it was last year that at the Women of Excellence, I always
Oh,
said, like,
yeah.
the
You got
little
that award last
5-year-old.
year.
Yeah, the little 5-year-old, immigrant girl in me. I mean, if anybody can tell you how amazing it is to be I mean, at this time saying this is it might seem crazy, but living in this country, it's me. Because I know for a fact that if I was still in Argentina, there's no way I would have a dance studio. It's not like, "Hey, you wanna open a dance studio? Go right ahead." It's not that easy.
Right.
And, I'm not saying it was easy for me, but I am saying it is an opportunity that people have here. And so, I don't know, I just take it so seriously, and I love people. I mean, I'm 48 years old, and I still don't feel like, "Oh, I've had it with people." I love people.
Yeah.
So
Well, you said earlier that with Bella that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree,
mm.
but your dad, I mean, choreography runs in your family. Can you tell the audience a little bit about him?
Yes. So my dad, his entire life, his name was Omar Pacheco. He's not with us anymore. But his whole life was about theater. And he was a director and a writer, and he wrote his own very avant-garde plays, and was pretty famous in Argentina. And his my entire life, all he's ever done is theater. And it wasn't always easy for him. You know, the life of an artist in Argentina is even harder than it is here. But he really, really had such a passion for it. Up into his last day, he was in that theater working. And such a creative genius. So I do think it's very DNA-ish for
Oh, yeah.
Bella. Bella is, like I said, gonna graduate soon, and I'll never forget. She was in Walsh doing the plays, and I said, "Oh my God, yeah." She says she wants to do this for a living, and they were like, "Oh," the person I was working with said, "Oh, they'll grow out of it. She'll grow out of it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Because you kinda worry about your
Yeah.
child thinking, "Oh, are they gonna be able to make a living doing this?" But I'll never forget her voice teacher, Amy Buckley, said to me, because I said, "She doesn't need to go to college for musical theater. That's not something you need a degree in." And she said, "Yeah, but if you're gonna go get a higher education in something, shouldn't it be something that you're so passionate about learning more about?"
Yeah.
As you know,
Yep.
because you got your degree in theater.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm so proud of her. She is also in Sweeney Todd,
Yep.
and works so hard and has had to work, in my opinion, doubly hard
Oh, yeah.
because I'm her mom. And when
Everyone's gonna say you got the part because of your mom, blah, 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 blah.
exactly,
I know,
exactly.
and
And so it's
she's
always been like, well, I've got to have my talent speak for itself because I don't want to hear any of that. And she really doesn't hear any of it.
that's
She does
good.
not hear that has not been an issue because I mean, her talent she's
Yeah,
very
she's a triple
talented.
threat, but like I say, she's a quadruple threat because the personality, there's singing, dancing, acting, but then it's the personality. Do I wanna work with this actor or not? So, it's all who you know and what the relationship is that you have with them and how far or not far you go in this life. And going back to your dad, I mean, I'm sure he's looking down, like, saying, "Oh my god, I can't believe
Mhm.
how invested she is in theater now."
Mhm.
So he's very proud.
On her opening night, she played, Rose in Bye Bye Birdie.
I saw it.
You came,
Yeah.
yes. And this was in Manhattan School of Music, and she played Rosie. And opening night was the anniversary of my dad's death.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And she's like, "Mom, I felt him with me." And I always remember feeling like, I wish he could see her. I wish he could see her. But she said, no, I really felt him with me. So
Oh,
that
that's
was
so
pretty
sweet.
cool.
Well, I know this is coming to an end, but I do want to ask you, you've accomplished so much in your life. Do you have another goal that you want to do in the next, let's say, 5 or 10 years? Is there something that you want to push yourself to try to attain?
I am a person who feels like no matter how old you are, you should have a goal. And it's scary. But I would love to put up a piece of my work or something in New York. I know that sounds silly,
No,
but
it doesn't sound
I've
silly.
never really ventured away from Connecticut. And just one time, I would love to do that.
Well, maybe let's do something together.
That would be great.
Yeah, let's get
Because,
the
I
wheels
mean,
turning.
we literally, I wish you guys could see us working together.
Oh, we're crazy.
It's
We're
people's eyes are like this.
crazy. If you don't know us, I mean, the things we say, it's the things I scream out Tourette style. Like,
Oh my
it's,
God. People literally are like, is this real?
yeah.
Is this real? I
But
knew it was
it's
real.
all from a place of love. It really is. Paula, you've been amazing. I want to do one last thing with you that I do with most of my casts. We haven't had the luxury of doing it with Sweeney Todd because it's been a little crazy. Sweeney Todd, which is running till August 31st at Legacy Theater. Get your tickets at legacytheaterct.org. If there are any left, it's selling really well. And if you're there and Paula and I are there, please, please, please say hello to us. But the one thing that I want to ask Paula before we go is something I do with most of the cast members that I direct, Rosebud and Thorn. And you could decide of your day today, the week, your year, whatever you want to tell me or the audience what your Rosebud and Thorn is. And just so you know, President Obama and Michelle and the kids, they had dinner at the White House as much as they can, like whenever they could. And this is where this Rosebud and Thorn came from. They sat down and Barack and Michelle just wanted to hear from their kids. What was the best part of your day? The rose. What was the worst part of the day? The thorn. And what's the bud? What are you looking forward to? So for you, it could be the day, it could be the year, it could be whatever you want to share. But I just want to leave the audience with your rose, bud, and thorn, Paula Pacheco Rarick.
Oh, thank you. I love Rosebud Thorn. Okay, so my rose right now is watching Sweeney up and running because it was hard work, and I do think it's a beautiful piece. And I'm glad that we get to bring it to the Brantford community.
Well, we didn't even talk about that. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No.
Sweeney Todd was the show that we were doing at Brantford High School
Oh my God,
in
yeah.
2020 when on March 13th, the world ended. And we thought we were just going to be gone for 2 weeks and then come back and then have our show. And then maybe it was going to be
Yeah.
2 months and come back and do our show. And it was the show that we never got to
I
do.
know,
And I
it
feel so
was-
bad for those high school kids. I promised I would never do Sweeney Todd again, ever. But I justified it with because it's not with high school kids.
Yes.
And it is a very specific version. It's a small, condensed, intimate version. It's very immersive. Someone came up to me and said, it just feels like you're in it. You're in it
Oh,
at the
that's
theater.
exactly what we wanted.
We wanted, I mean, with getting the beggar woman in the audience and all the audience's entrance. Okay, that was your rose. Go back.
Okay.
Bud or thorn?
Bud is I am going to Rome with my mother in end of September, beginning of October for a family wedding. So I can't wait for that. And then my thorn, I would say going into the winter as we're approaching the end of summer. I love the fall, but the winter is a little bit hard for me. And that's crazy because I feel like I never want to leave the Northeast because I love it so much. I love the
I
metropolitan
don't ever.
area so
Yeah,
much.
I don't ever want.
I don't want to, but I'm not gonna lie that seasonal affect disorder is
Oh,
real.
it's real. Yeah.
And so I'm hoping to be able to, take some vacations and get away. But yeah, I would say the winter is my thorn right now.
So, if people want to follow you on social media, where should they follow? Or if they want more information about Studio One?
Yeah, I would say the best place to see my craziness is Studio One Bramford. And that is both on Instagram and Facebook. You can follow me at Paola Rarick on Instagram. And yeah, that's
That's that.
about
Well,
it.
thank you for coming on the 4th episode of Chattin' with Colin.
Thank you for having me.
And go get your copy of Bramford Neighbors on stands wherever available, which is nowhere. They just mail it to certain people. I finally got on the list.
You know what?
So I'm
don't
in the
mail it- they
Bramford
didn't mail it
Bitches
to me.
now. And I know I had to give you my copy.
Oh my God.
Okay, you're going to autograph for me, this for me. Paula, thank you so much. I love you so much. I can't wait to see what the next show is that we're going to do together. And I can't wait to make lots more memories with my bestie.
Well, thank you for being my best friend.
Of course, of course. You have a great day, and we'll see you next time. I think we have a very special guest for episode 5. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Bye. You know him, you love him, you're gonna want more of him. Here he is now, it's Chattin' with Colin.